one issue discussed. As all of you correctly pointed out, I have started off with SDR as if the JLF process, etc., has already been discussed. I apologize. We should also have just probably 5 minutes devoted to it. Mr. Bansal, okay, let me start with Mr. Rao. Since you said that it is too rigid, is there something that should be changed in the JLF, the Joint Lender Forum process itself, up to the 90th day? Do we need to change the way banks approach a stressed asset?
No, the main difference between JLF and CDR, if we really look at it, all the lenders which are participating in the JLF, they are not bound to take the calls. Because JLF again has two types of JLFs we are seeing. One where all the lenders will sign the agreement before start of JLF. Secondly, they don't sign. Why they don't sign, I don't understand. But there are cases where all the lenders are not signing. A lot of discussions will happen. Some of the lenders are not agreeing for the JLF.
But now the rules say that 51% of the lenders and 65% by value is enough. Is that helping, Mr. Bansal?
It's helping because this was changed only for the number perspective, because sometimes what happens, the number percentage was 60 and there are many lenders giving 5 crore loan. If you see the latest February guideline of RBI, it's very clear. Somebody who has agreed doesn't sign or doesn't implement, there is an accelerated provision for that.
Okay, so that should help.
Can I just add one final word on SDR? I think the threat of SDR is a lot more powerful than the actual implementation of SDR. Because, a lot of promoters don't want to lose the asset. They don't want to be thrown out. So it's a good threat to arm twist the promoter into restructuring, bringing in more equity.
In fact, I just wanted to add one point what Rashesh is saying. I think banks or even the industrialist borrowers are still not fully aware that when RBI introduced SDR, there is one clause which I think people are slightly forgetting. RBI says in all the future loans now you should have this clause. I think which people are still not wake up to that reality.
But are you ensuring that in any of the few
loans? That's what I'm saying. So even bankers have not woken up to that reality that they have to do it.
Yeah, I guess very few corporate loans have been given since. So, okay, actually out of time, sir. So if everyone, if you can just take about 20 seconds to give me an idea of whether the resolved resolution of assets will be a little better off 3 years from now. How much? 20% will be resolved, you think, Mr. Bansal?
My feeling is 80% will get resolved. Resolved means either banks have to take some haircut here and there. Maybe 10 to 20% you may have to write off.
So, Mr. Mahapatra, have we draft out?
I think when RBI says that banks have time up to March 17 to recognize bad loans, that means banks still have time to recognize bad loans. That means there are so many bad loans which are still hidden. The AQR of RBI is targeted big value loans. So some of them have 150 or 120, I don't know the exact number. Some of them have come to light. So banks have been forced to make provision and all that. There are many cases which are below the cut-off limit, which are still on the carpet. And second point, CDR was one institutional framework in which loans were restructured. Apart from that, banks themselves restructured departmentally many loans, which we do not know what are the health of those loans. So I'm not very optimistic. As a regulator, ex-regulator, I am always pessimistic that probably we haven't seen the end of the tunnel. We still have miles to go.
This is serious pessimism. Mr. Shroff.
I'm going to have a slightly different note. So I think, resolution of any problem always first begins with acceptance of the problem. And I think the biggest change that we have seen is acceptance of the problem. Yes, there is more work to be done because everything has sort of still not come out. But I think we have started the journey very seriously. Full marks to Dr. Rajan for that, for having initiated that process. And now the genie is out of the bottle, there's no putting it back. So that being said, I think a lot of institutional steps are being taken, whether it's the bankruptcy code, SDR, the whole cocktail of remedies that is there. It is going to work.
I think in the last 12 months, there has been significant changes in the mindset and the environment, and partially thanks to maybe the media glare, etc. So, it's no longer that it's okay to default and I can use the judicial process for 20 years and not to pay up. That itself changing, and therefore there's clear disincentive, I think makes a big difference. Given what we are seeing, I think the concern we have is let's not completely let go of the pressure. Yes, shrillness needs to be softened, yes, but at the same time, pressure needs to be sustained. We're getting close to the dawn. Let's not now go to sleep.
I think the idea is to quantify this and put it in perspective. Then it becomes easy. I do believe out of this 8 lakh, I think banks have provided for about 2.5 lakhs. Our estimates are another 80,000 to 100,000 more has to be provided, and which is not unaffordable because quite a few banks have, they will sell stakes in their insurance companies, asset management companies, raise additional capital. Through earnings also they'll provide. So I think it is a 4 to 8 quarter cycle of providing. RBI did very well with AQR, which is the first step. Say that it's an NPA. Now we are going to the step 2, which is providing. I think banks can afford it without creating any systemic crisis. I think another 80,000 to 100,000 crore is what is additionally to come. That will get provided in the next 4 quarters, hopefully. Then the resolution, and if economy comes back, as you said, in 2003-04, it was the economy came back. So hopefully if the economy comes back, a lot of this will be clawed back also. So I think we are at the beginning of the end of the NPA cycle. I do believe 4 quarters from now, we will stop talking about NPAs and we'll start talking about how to get credit growth back in the economy.